Please check out your answers. I did not list, I should have, this is the domain, this is the range, part C is whether or not it is a function. If your answers are all agreeable and you have no questions, then please continue. Before you go on to the next video, please print, if you are able, the file deeper domain and range, because we will be using that in the next video. I'm sorry I have only a handwritten copy, but I hope you can make it out. Number 1 would have probably been much easier if it had been written in a table. Vertical table, X is in the first column, Y is in the second. Written this way, it's easy to tell that the domain is the set of all the X values, the Y is the set of all the second coordinates, that gives us the range. When writing things in a set, you don't have to write them twice if they show up more than once. So it wasn't necessary to write the 9 a second time. It doesn't hurt, it's just not usually done. Is it a function? Well, does each X value have just one Y value? Yes, it does. The fact that -3 and +3 both came out to an answer of 9 is okay. You can have two problems that come out to the same answer. Now, if -3 had tried to come out to two different answers, that would be non-functional. On number 2, okay, the domain is going to be the spread of the x's starting with the one most to the left, and it doesn't go any further left than -4. It's solid there, so we'll include the -4, and then the x's spread forever out to the right. For the range, that's how low do the y values go, how high do the y values go. And they're not spreading terribly fast, but they will eventually just keep going down and down, up and up. Is it a function? Well, you can use the good old vertical line test. It doesn't pass the vertical line test. For instance, when x is -3, we get an answer of +1. We also get an answer of -1. So this was not a function. On the third problem, so the domain, how low do the x's go? Now, I should have mentioned it on problem 2, but if they don't tell us a scale for the graph, we assume that each space is worth 1 unit. So just going to assume that each of these is worth 1 space. So the domain is going to 0, and it doesn't have a hole there, so we're going to say we're including the 0 up to 9 spaces. And it definitely does have a dot there. For the range, how low do the y values go? How high do the y values go? Well, they go down as low as -2 and up to and including +2. Is it a function? It does pass the vertical line test. This happens to be the sine function, and we'll be working more with that later. So number 4 just gave us the equation. I'm hoping you could make a graph of your own. That would make it easier. So the parent function is going to be y = x², but a couple of things happened to it. We took its opposites, so whatever the y values are, they're going to be their opposites, and we're going to raise them by 2. So this is going to get reflected across the x-axis, and then it's going to get raised up 2 spaces. So the graph will look something like this. And from that, hopefully, we can still find the domain and range. The domain is going to be how far to the left, how far to the right. They're not spreading very fast, but the x's are slowly going to the left. So we're going to go from negative infinity and slowly increasing to the right. The range, from bottom to top, the lowest y values to the highest y values. Well, they are going down to negative infinity. But coming up, they're going to stop at y equals 2. And we'll include that value, y equals 2. Is it a function? Yes, it does pass the vertical line test. Each x has just one y, so it is a function. Okay, if you would please print out the file deeper domain and range, because we will need that for the next